When it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, we're all probably thinking the same thing. Can the offensive line hold? Yes, I understand that this probably is one of those things where I'm overemphasizing this, especially after they seem to not do anything to help out the offensive line. They pretty much brought back everybody. From restructuring Chris Reed to bringing back Oli Udo, which I'm actually not opposed to. Oli Udo is kind of a stud at right tackle. As a backup right tackle, I think he could be one of the better ones in the NFL. Now, take that for what it's worth for number one. Number two, are we really just going to roll with Garrett Bradbury at center again? Like, I know, yes, he had a better season last year. He really did bounce back. I'm happy for him and all that. But did we not see what Dexter Lawrence did to him last year in the playoffs? Thought that kind of held some weight, but I think, like I said, I really feel like I know I'm being hard on the Minnesota Vikings offensive line right now, but for good reason, I feel like, because this unit was responsible for Kirk Cousins being pressured the most times in his career and being sacked the most times in his career. Not great. No, Christian Darrisaw, he's a stud, not really worried about it. And same thing with Brian O'Neill to a degree. Like, you're not worried about those two guys. Hopefully Brian O'Neill's good and good to go back and be back in the first game of the season, but we'll see there week one, that is. So Darrisaw, O'Neill, fine, not really worried about him. But Ezra Cleveland here, who was relatively solid, played over 1,130 snaps last year for the Vikings, allowed 5 sacks, had 5 penalties, and a 73.5 PFF grade. We've known it for a while now. He's basically playing out of position. He should be playing left tackle somewhere, maybe with the Vikings or whatever. But yeah, left guard isn't his strong suit, even though he's actually been pretty good. We've seen a lot worse, trust me. So, Ezra Cleveland, one of those guys I don't put a lot of blame on. I think it's kind of just one of those things where he's just making the best of his situation and going from there. Garrett Bradbury, we mentioned him. Yes, 809 snaps, missed a couple of games last year, and that was just like, wow, we're actually missing Garrett Bradbury right now. That's a little wild. I'm not going to lie to you, but 809 snaps last year for the Vikings, only allowed 2 sacks, as well as only had 4 penalties, and had a 70.2 PFF grade. Yeah, you were pretty excited to see his big jump, but again, in the playoffs, he definitely did suffer against Dexter Lawrence, who wouldn't, because the man's an absolute stud. I understand it. But at the end of the day, I really just felt like, yeah, Garrett Bradbury and, this interior offensive line is our biggest concern. And then, yes, Ed Ingram, the rookie, coming up out of LSU last year, the second-round pick. I want to pump the brakes on the Ed Ingram hate a little bit, but at the same time, pass blocking was supposed to be his best thing, and it was his worst thing according to PFF. I believe he had a below 50.0 PFF pass blocking grade. Not great. In fact, he was a better run blocker according to PFF standards, which did not measure up at all from what we had seen from him in college, really, or the Senior Bowl, any of that stuff, really. So it kind of just was whatever. Yes, 1,168 snaps last year, basically was on the field for every single snap, allowed 11 sacks, that's not a typo, and 4 penalties. And again, it wouldn't be the same thing if, if the Vikings went out and got Osiris Torrance in the second round, or if they traded, maybe got Chandler Zavala, I would probably be singing a different tune right now. But the fact that you brought back the exact same offensive line after what we saw what happened last year, that's what we're really going to do. Like I said, I understand that there's the whole mentality that this coaching staff, like it should, think it can change some of these guys. Like Garrett Bradbury is a great example. I know you don't give up on a guy like Ed Ingram after 1 year, but you don't bring in anybody? I don't know. It's a little shocking to me. I'm not going to lie to you. Like we said, the tackles are pretty solid. I'm not really worried about them. Oli Udo, Blake Brandel are going to do their things, not, as backups. But on the interior, Austin Schlutman's back. I believe that is the correct pronunciation. If it's not, I apologize. We also talked about Chris Reed and all of them as well. But I really feel like if the Vikings are going to take a huge step this year, especially offensively, with the weapons that they have, this offensive line cannot falter like it did, especially late in the season. It was just a train wreck later on in the season. It needs to step up, and can it hold up? That's going to be the ultimate question for the Minnesota Vikings. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. Greatly appreciate all your guys' support and everything. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover. But let us know what you guys think about if the Minnesota Vikings offensive line can hold.